So in this particular lecture, let's go ahead and let's actually create a form over here for each post which we have so that a comment could be submitted. So right now we are actually able to submit a comment, but we are actually doing it via the admin panel, but we should provide the users a functionality so that they could add their own comments. So doing that is quite simple. So let's say you want to add a form to add a comment right beneath the list of the comments which you have. You could simply go ahead and do that in the feed.html. So let's go inside the feed.html page and let's go right after the div where the comment section actually ends. So this is the div where it ends. So I'll create another div here and let's add a padding and margin here. So px is 5 and let's say py is also 5 here. And once we have this particular div, let's create a form here. And the action, we are not going to define any action here. We are just going to say that the form method is going to be post. And as usual, what we will do here is that we'll add a CSRF token, because obviously while submitting any form, you would need a CSRF token here. So I'll add in CSRF underscore token. And now let's start adding some fields for the form. So here, as we only want to accept a comment here, so what we will technically do here is that we'll actually go inside the views and actually pass in a particular comment form here. So first of all, let's actually create a comment form so that we could pass that particular form to this template. So in order to create a comment form, I have to go to the forms.py file, and remember that you have to go to the forms.py file of the posts app. So here I'll create another form here which is going to be the comment form. So I would say class, let's name this thing as comment form. This is going to inherit from forms.model form because we are actually targeting the comment model. So I'll say this is going to be model form. Now here let's provide some class information. So class meta, we are going to say that the model which this is going to be using is the comment model. So I'll add comment here. Let's also import comment from the models as well. And now once we have specified the model, let's also specify the fields here. So in this particular case, as we only want to accept the body of the comment, so if you take a look at the model here for the comment, we are only interested in the comment body, and that's what we want to accept. So here I would mention body in single quotes, give a comma, and we should be good to go. Now once we have this form, now we just have to pass this particular form to a view so that that view could actually pass this form to the template. So now let's go to the view and let's see where exactly we could pass in that form. So in here, we already have this view which is the feed view, and right now the feed view is actually only accepting the code that is what it needs to be doing when we get a GET request. But now we need to also go ahead and handle a post request over here for actually handling the form submission which we have. So we want to say that whenever a request method is post, we actually want to handle the form submission of the comment. And that's because if you actually go to the feed page, which is this page right here, as you can see, we are not submitting any kind of data here through the post request. But now we will be actually adding a form to add a comment, and whenever we submit that data should be submitted via the post request. That means now here we have to write in the code for the post request as well. So here I would say if request.method, so whenever request.method is equal to post, in that particular case we basically have to go ahead and get the data from the form. So here the form which we are interested in is the comment form. So I would say comment underscore form, and we will actually be importing comment from the forms.py file. So here I would say form.forms, and I guess .forms is already imported here. I just need to say I want to import the comment from here. Okay, so once I've imported that, I could now go ahead and make use of that in the feed view. So here I would say this is going to be comment form. Let's get the data here from the request.post. So now once we have this data, now what we want to do is that we want to create a comment object so that we could actually save that comment object. So here I would create a new comment object by saying new underscore comment, and this is going to be equal to nothing but get the data from the comment form, save it, but do not commit that data. Therefore I'll say commit equals false. Now the reason why we are setting commit equals false here is because every comment which you actually have, that comment needs to be associated with a post. And right now, this is only getting all the data from the form, and that data or the comment data is not going to be associated with any post. That means now we actually have to go ahead and get the post ID from every post which we have. And we are actually going to get the post ID from this particular form itself. So we are going to add a field here which is going to be associated with the post ID, and we are going to make it hidden, and from there we are going to get the post ID. And the reason why we want to get the post ID is because once we have the comment data from the form, we want to attach that post ID with that particular comment so that the comment gets associated with the post. So let's get the post ID. So I would say post underscore ID is going to be equal to, and we are basically going to get this from the request itself. So I would say request dot post dot get, and I would get the post underscore ID. So once we have this post ID, we could now go ahead and get the actual post from this particular post ID. So here I would say post equals get that particular post using get object of 404, get the post from the post model, and here we want to get the post where the ID of the post is going to be equal to post underscore ID. So once this thing is done, we are pretty much good to go. Now once we have this post, now we could attach that post to the new comment which we have. So here I could say new comment dot post, and this new comment dot post is nothing but, if you go to the models here, as you can see, we are simply taking this field of that particular comment and attaching it to a post, because the type of this thing is a foreign key. So here I would say new comment dot post is going to be this post which we have gotten. So here I would simply say this equals post. Now the comment is actually attached with a post, and that's exactly what we want. Now once finally the comment is ready, we could now save that particular comment object into the database. So finally I could say new comment dot save, and we should be good to go, and the comment would be stored in the database. Now what happens if the method or the request method is not equal to post? That means whenever we have a get method on feed, we should always go ahead and actually get the comment form and simply pass that particular comment form as context over here to this template, which is feed.html. So here I would say else if the request method is not post, in that case get the comment form, just as we have gotten up over here above. So once we have this comment form, now we simply have to pass in that comment form up over here as context. So I would say comment underscore form, pass this thing as comment underscore form. So once this comment form is passed, now we could finally go ahead and actually render that particular form up in the feed.html up over here. So we are going to learn how to do that in the next one, and doing that is actually quite simple. You just have to go through the fields which are actually present in the form and then finally add a submit button at the end. So let's do that in the next lecture.